What's up guys, welcome back. Today we'll be looking at how Nico Hulkenberg's move to Haas will affect the upcoming season and whether or not he and Magnussen will get on as teammates. Well, as it turns out, Nico Hulkenberg never really left. Hulkenberg has been a vocal and active member of the paddock ever since the day he joined Williams in 2010, even though he has been absent from the full-time Formula 1 grid for the previous 3 seasons. Hulkenberg's time in Formula 1 has not been particularly successful. Aside from a sensational pole on a drying Interlagos as a rookie, he has 0 poles, podiums, or wins in his 13-year career. Nonetheless, he is back in the series at the age of 35. Hulkenberg has spent the previous 3 seasons serving as a reserve driver for what was formerly his Force India team. During those seasons, he has made a total of 4 spot starts for Racing Point and Aston Martin. Because of this, team leaders throughout the back half of the Formula 1 field kept him in the back of their minds. As a result, Haas F1 made a surprising hire towards the end of the year. While Mick Schumacher's opportunity to race in Formula 1 has passed, for the time being, Nico Hulkenberg's career in the sport will continue. Well, let's see how Hulk got here in the first place. How he got here. Hulkenberg began his career with cars all the way back in 2005 when he made his debut in the German Formula BMW series. On his debut in 2009, he won the GP2, now Formula 2 championship, earning him a 1-year contract with Williams. Despite the fact that he earned the pole position at Interlagos, he was demoted at the end of the season and assigned to a reserve role with Force India in 2011. Because of this, he raced for them for only 1 season before moving on to Sauber for another season and then to Force India for 3 more seasons. After being recruited away by Renault for what turned out to be 3 unsuccessful seasons between 2017 and 2019, he went back to what was then Racing Point for his 3rd stint with the team that is now known as Aston Martin F1, where he is still competing. Despite all of that, he only accomplished a little that is worth mentioning. He scored points on a consistent basis, enough to consistently float around 10th in the championship on teams that were in the middle of the pack, but he was never able to secure any of the unexpected podium finishes that made Sergio Perez such an interesting figure, while they were both on the Force India team. In his 2018 season with Renault, he had his best finish in the championship, which was 7th. The most memorable moment in his career was actually achieved outside of Formula 1 when he made an unexpected appearance at the 2015 24 Hours of Le Mans. As a current Formula 1 driver, he joined Porsche's 919 program in order to compete in 2 races, Spa and Le Mans, using the manufacturer's 3rd car. Alongside Nick Tandy and Earl Bamber, Nico Hulkenberg won the overall 24 Hours of Le Mans competition thanks to his speed and good attrition fortune. This was a historic achievement for an active Formula 1 driver and was only matched by Fernando Alonso in 2018. How 2022 went. Let's look at how 2022 has been for the Hulk. Nico Hulkenberg served as a reserve for the team owned by Lawrence Stroll throughout the entirety of 2022, just as he had done throughout the whole of 2020 and 2021. In the first 2 races of the season, he filled in for Sebastian Vettel and drove for Aston Martin. In those races, he finished 17th and 12th respectively. Even though it was, at best, unremarkable, it was apparently interesting enough for the leadership of Haas F1 to take notice. The "suck my balls mate" incident. Looking back a little at the 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix, Nico Hulkenberg and Magnussen got into a heated argument, with Hulkenberg getting extremely angry with Magnussen after the Haas driver forced him off the road. While the Dane was in the middle of giving an interview, the German, who was competing for Renault at the time, confronted him. From this, Formula 1 was presented with one of its more memorable one-liners, which you may be familiar with. A little over 4.5 years later, the two, who are both now parents of young daughters, have put the past behind them and made up. Both drivers are making their returns to the track in 2018, with Magnussen having secured a full-time ride with Haas, while Nico Hulkenberg is filling in for Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin. This has actually served as a springboard for their first conversation of a friendly nature in many years. Hulkenberg revealed to motorsport.com that he actually greeted the other driver with the phrase, quote, "suck my balls, honey," end quote, going on further to confirm again that those were the words he said to him. He also said that it's not that he hated Magnussen or had anything against him. Instead, after what happened in Budapest, both drivers have never talked to each other. Also adding that this was still the case even before the incident. Hulk said that he just thought the way Magnussen handled himself on the track was a little too severe. He added that, well, as a race car driver, you will have moments of disagreements with other drivers, but on the other hand, he thought it was actually fun to greet him with the phrase, "suck my balls, mate," and he thinks Magnussen kinda liked it. Typical Hulk, huh? However, Magnussen had a favorable opinion of the icebreaker. He explained his state of mind by saying that it's not something that has been bothering him much, and that topic was never brought up in their conversation. The funny thing is, he adds with Nico, it's not the only thing that he has tried that was kind of like this, but he has also experimented with some other stuff. Magnussen also added that even though the media is trying to build up some tension between him and Hulk, or like him and Romain, there's actually a lot of respect between them in reality, and there are some things that appear to be one way when viewed from the outside, but when viewed from the inside, it is very different. 2023 goals. What is expected in the coming year for the team? Well, despite being a seasoned driver in his own right, Hulkenberg has far less experience with the new 2022 rule set than his teammate Kevin Magnussen. Both drivers are on the older side and are likely to wait to jump ship for a bigger and better team. As a result, they serve as their own best indicators of how well the other driver is doing. Surprisingly, the two drivers share the exact same best ever moment in Formula 1, which is surprise poles in wet qualifying at Interlagos in relatively poor cars, which occurred more than a decade apart. Any goals that Hulkenberg has for the upcoming season will be measured against either Magnussen or other teams that have expectations comparable to those of Haas, such as Alfa Romeo and Williams. This is because it is anticipated that Haas will again compete in the latter half of the middle of the pack. It is essential for him to look for opportunities to score points whenever they present themselves, and he should not either prevent his teammate from scoring points or allow himself to be prevented from scoring points by his teammate. Successful 2023 season? It will be a successful year for Hulkenberg in 2023 if he can achieve even a fraction of what Magnussen did in the previous season, or what he consistently did while driving for the more successful Force India and Renault teams. Given the consistency with which Magnussen exceeded expectations in the early races of the previous season, this is a tall order from anyone to attempt to fulfill. The more attainable objective will be to perform well enough to validate his position on the team, and to secure his position for the upcoming campaign. Not only did Magnussen accomplish this, but his performance also persuaded the team to consider adding another veteran, and was the driving force behind the program's decision to sign Hulkenberg in the first place. It is a goal that can be accomplished, and if Nico Hulkenberg can continue to race in Formula 1 at the age of 36 without ever having finished on a podium in his career, then his long career will be considered a relative success. Do you think that the next season with the two drivers will be a success? Share your thoughts on the matter in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button if you enjoyed the video too. Until next time, bye.